Hello everyone. Today we will be looking at our application WhatToDo, which is an emotion detection sensor. Our project team members are Lakshmana Degala, Avani Kapa, Sai Kiran Pasala, Ebenezer Anand Arpali, and myself Sai Kishore Bandar. Let's look at the idea of our project. It's basically a native mobile application which is used for emotion detection based on the hand gestures. These hand gestures are recognized using the sensor tag tool developed by Texas Instruments. We use KNN as a machine learning technique. Our system architecture typically consists of two parts, online activity and offline activity. Online activity is more of a user usage and offline activity is more of machine learning. In offline activity, initially we collect data from sensor tag using the Android mobile device. This trained data will be in the form of TXT files. Now, this trained data will be sent for machine learning, which further generates the sequence files. These sequence files will be further used for activity recognition. In online activity, initially we collect the data for a single hand gesture. Now we represent it as test data. Choosing the test data and the sequence files generated, we shall recognize the gesture made by the user and assign the appropriate emotion for it. Now, based on the emotion, we shall make certain recommendations for the user. Like, if the user is worried, we ask him to visit certain parks or holy places to get revived. We support 5 gestures: punch, which represents the user is angry; high five, which represents user is happy; stomp, which represents user is irritated; weep, which represents user is sad; facepalm, which represents the user is worried. For training data, we have collected 24 samples of data for each gesture by 5 different users. Let's look at the sample of our trained data. Here is one of the TXT file which has the trained data for high five. Now this is the sequence file generated for one of the gesture facepalm. More is the training data, accuracy in the activity recognition. Let's look at the steps in activity recognition. The trained sequence files will be provided to the KNN algorithm and will be stored internally. Now the test sequence file, which is the gesture of user, will be imposed on the stored sequence files. Now using this, we will be calculating the nearest neighbor and the resultant output will show to which gesture it belongs to. The following implementation can be found in the below GitHub link. Now let's look at the application usage. Basically the homepage consists of 4 buttons. Now to start with, click on Start Recognition and make the user gesture. Now once you are done in making the gesture, click on End Recognition. Now to detect your emotion based on the gesture, click on Detect Emotion. Now Detect Emotion will first go to the KNN algorithm and identifies which emotion you are in. Since I have made a facepalm, it indicates I am worried. On clicking WhatToDo button, we have 3 buttons: Kids, Students and Professionals, which can be used for distinguishing the user. Let's click on Kids. So you can see here some places suggested for the user to go so that to get revived. So for kids, we are suggesting certain parks to visit. Now let's see for other option. Let's click on Students. So for students, we have provided certain holy places like church. Now another important aspect of our application is we also provide certain View Statistics button, which is a reporting tool. Here we report our data in the form of a bar charts and also certain sample of recommendations for each gesture. You can see here we have plotted the graph on the basis of time and also on the basis of sequence file values. The time typically consists of at what time interval the user is in which emotion. Here are some of the accuracy calculations which we have made for precision, recall and F measure. On a whole, we have achieved 90% accuracy in our readings. This work was done as partial fulfillment of the requirements of Big Data and Analytics course at University of Missouri, Kansas City, under the esteemed guidance of Dr. Lee and Fai Chen Shen. Thank you.